Hello everyone, and welcome to week 4. I can't believe that we're already more than halfway through this course. You've done an excellent job really preparing yourself and diving into the material. Over the past few weeks, we've explored the foundations of talent management. This week, we're shifting our focus to leadership, specifically how leaders shape teams, navigate challenges, and drive success within their organizations. Last week, we also examined how learning, decision-making, personality, and ability can influence workplace behavior. This week, we're moving beyond theory and focusing on practical tools you can use as a leader within your role as well as in HR. You'll learn how to navigate influence, build credibility, resolve conflicts, and lead effectively in diverse work environments. I'm excited to see the insights and thoughtful reflections you'll share this week as we dive into our discussions and our assignments. Here's a quick overview of what's due this week by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll need to complete the discussion question and responses, read and complete our Smart Book Chapter 13 on leadership, power and negotiation, and Chapter 14 on leadership styles and behavior. You'll also work on completing your Learning Unit 4 project and finish the Learning Unit 4 quiz. Now let's jump into a little bit about what the chapters will include. Chapter 13 focuses on leadership, power, and negotiation. As you read, consider these thoughtful questions. What is leadership, and what role does power play? What types of power do leaders have, and when should they use them? And how do leaders influence others, and how does power and influence affect performance and commitment? You'll also explore negotiation strategies and understand when political behavior is likely to occur in the workplace. There's key influence tactics to consider: rational persuasion, consultation, inspirational appeals, and coalition building. As we think through negotiation strategies, you're also going to hear about distributive negotiation, integrative negotiation. And these are effective tools to use as you're looking at influence or negotiation as a leader or even as a peer within your organization. Within the chapter, you'll learn about 5 sources of power: legitimate, reward, coercive, expert, and reverent power. You'll also see different influence tactics like what we discussed before: rational persuasion, consultation, inspirational appeals, and coalition building. When it comes to negotiation, you'll explore the distributive negotiation, which is a win-lose approach, and integrative negotiation, which focuses on win-win outcomes. Effective negotiation requires preparation, clear communication, and finding solutions that work for everyone involved. Now here, let's look at a real-world example. Specifically within the hospitality industry, there's many times where negotiation plays a specific role in how you navigate employee experience as well as the workplace overall. So the example is, at a large unionized resort, the housekeeping team and front desk teams often face conflicts. Specifically, let's say that there's a room that needs to be ready for a VIP guest, and the housekeeping team does not prioritize that specific guest. And now we have guest conflict because the guest is expecting to be into their room and enjoying their vacation. The front desk has to honor early check-ins while housekeeping struggles with union staffing rules. And the HR and leadership team facilitated integrative negotiation sessions that help both teams identify shared goals and co-develop solutions. They revised room assignments, added floaters during peak check-in times, and implemented real-time updates between departments. The overarching result, which took some time, it didn't happen just after one negotiation meeting, but it really did take place where they identified better workflow, higher guest satisfaction, and increased trust and collaboration. With Chapter 14, it's going to shift leadership styles and behaviors. As you read, you want to ask yourself, what makes an effective leader? What traits and characteristics predict effective leadership? And what styles can leaders use, and how do they adapt based on context? You'll also explore how transformational leadership differs from transactional leadership, and how leaders can be trained to improve effectiveness. The chapter covers 3 main leadership styles: autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. It also looks at task-oriented behaviors, which focus on goals and structure, and relationship-oriented behaviors, which focus on supporting and developing people. Contingency models like Fieldler's and situational leadership show that effectiveness depends on the situation, the team, and the task. Transformational leaders inspire and motivate through vision and trust, while transactional leaders focus on rewards and punishment to manage performance. When you take a moment to look back at your own career, working in various different areas and industries, you'll be able to identify which type of leaders have been most inspirational for you and which type of leaders have been more along the lines of focusing on rewards and punishment to manage performance. So take a moment to reflect on what type of leader you want to be, as well as what type of leaders you've worked for in the past and how effective they were. Now here's an example. A retail manager initially used an autocratic style to meet sales targets, but noticed low team morale. After assessing her team's readiness, she shifted to a democratic style, involving employees in the decision-making. The result was higher motivation, better communication, and a team that exceeded sales goals while maintaining a positive work environment. This shows the importance of adapting your leadership style to your team and the context when you're trying to overcome an adaptive environment. So now that we've taken a moment to explore just some of the key concepts that you'll see within your chapters this week you'll also see discussion board questions, and your goal is to respond to at least 2 peers on separate days. And that can include any type of question that I encourage or add into the discussion. I'll add in supplemental resources that will be posted on Wednesday to help you with your posts, as well as help you kind of lean into your learning as you're diving into your workbook. I recommend completing your chapter work before posting, as it will make your discussion contributions more meaningful. We love to hear your examples of what you're experiencing in your current workplace, as well as what you might be experiencing in your previous workplaces. Some resources to help you this week include videos on leadership styles, understanding power and negotiation strategies, as well as articles on contingency theory and laissez-faire leadership. I encourage you to use these to deepen your understanding and inform your discussion posts. If you have any questions that might benefit from you or others, please post them in the general discussion board. For personal questions, you can email me. My contact info is available within the announcement. And if you want to, you can go back into previous weeks and complete your assignments, especially your discussion posts. Just send me a quick note in an email, and I'll go back in and update your grade based on your actions. Sending you good vibes for a successful week 4, and look forward to seeing your insights, reflections, and the practical applications you'll bring to our discussions. Thank you, everyone.